We started making names right away, and I loved it. I was robbing drug dealers, taking their gold right off their neck, and the shit we did, who's gonna call the police on you? A drug dealer?
I can identify with anything that was normal, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
99% of the time, you're gonna disappear.
Just like the Donnie Brasco situation with Lefty.
Yeah, because the reason why they figure it this way. You brought this guy around, he ratted on everybody, now he ratted on you. You might turn around and join him and rat on us, so we get rid of you. There's no connection between there and there, and they get rid of you.
Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today, got Convict Inc., Robert Russo.
There's more people.
So now you're mean mugging me, right? I'm mean mugging you back.
Yeah.
What happens? What's the outcome?
Well, what I'm saying,
whoever looks away first. Is that
no. What I really mean by that is like it's there's always a tension. You always have to be that guy. You always have to be convict. You always have to be, ready to roll. You always have to be, a wood, just what there's no chance just to kind of like settle down and just be, you have to have people. I was going to say image, but people then become that image in some cases. I know guys that I've seen a guy not long ago, just did 8 years, man. You'd think like, he was like still locked up and, still plexing if you got too close to him. And
yeah, some people are like that, man. It rubs off on them, and they stay with that kind of it sticks in them.
But so my first prison was Arkansas. There was all kinds of homosexual activity, pressure punking, the whole sex thing was there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't about people really backing each other up, especially in the beginning. So like the white dudes really don't, in a lot of cases, I should
like
say,
sticking together. Yeah,
they let you fend for yourself to see what you're about. You know what I mean?
So has there been any situations where they approached you with the bullshit?
Oh, like, in Arkansas? Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
So can you explain the situation? Because I'm sure people want to hear this shit.
Yeah. So I was in 11 barracks. I came in Cummins, and like 5 dudes approached me at one time, and I kind of like got away from them, meaning that I knew what they were coming up to, like pressure to like say, hey man, would you gonna choose up one of these guys? Blah blah blah. So it was late that night, right before count time. Somebody came up on the bed. Another guy came down, try to like take my ass kind of thing, not kind of.
Yeah, and but like what? Do they grab you? How did
like literally, yeah. There was 4 whites in that unit at that time. And you had to fight. You had to fight, and got fucked up pretty bad, to be honest. But nothing ever happened that way. But the thing about Arkansas is like that's condoned. That was that kind of behavior. It wasn't frowned upon. You know what I mean? A lot
weird.
Of dudes,
that's just weird to me, man. Being from where I'm from, I don't never seen. There
was some kind of homosexual activity that you can be witnessed every day. So even if it was guys like holding each other's hands or like arms around each other watching TV, it was a different world, right? Then I went to California, where it's everybody's it's like more it's like gang time, more serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Arkansas. So I was down. That was at Cummins. It got better after they realized that you're gonna stick up for yourself. You know what I mean? It gets better. Then I went to end up going to Calico Rock, which is at that time it was kind of half a soft spot, but it was a cool place to do time,
So when you first walk into the feds, what is your mind frame is like? Are you thinking, because you've already been to prison at this point, but the feds is something new
Yes.
for you, right?
Yes.
So what is your approach when you walk in? Are you like, I'm gonna fight right off the rip? I'm
No.
gonna make a name for myself. Did you have a plan?
No. So I got sent to Leavenworth, and I didn't know I was going to Leavenworth until
Leavenworth.
Yeah,
Just the
so I
name,
didn't
man.
know-
People would shit if they heard if they said you're
And-
going to Leavenworth.
And when you walk in, so I've said this before on my program and a couple others. When I came in with Big Mac. He's a pretty high ranking AB from California / the feds, whatever.
See one of the pictures you sent?
No, but Bobby Ray Shields is in one of the pictures that I sent. I've talked about him on my show. Me and Bobby Ray are together in one of those pictures. And the group, not that one. Go ahead. Not that one. Not that one. There's one more. Is it there not?
Those are the only ones you sent me. 3.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, that sucks. So that one right there is Dirty White Boys. That's all. That's DWB's 2000.
So where was that? This picture
That's
taken?
Leavenworth. That's Leavenworth.
So what was it like to be?
So
Oh,
let me roll
go ahead.
back.
Yeah.
So when I came in with Mac. Mac, like I said, high ranking AB coming back for he had a dope case in Leavenworth in '95. I think there was a death involved in that case. But when I came in, so many guards came and approached that guy, and it was like he was on celebrity status. They were in awe of him. Some of them, like if he would have said like drop your knees and blow me, it's like I think all of them would.
Some of the people that's what people
It's crazy.
out there don't understand that some of these
crazy.
people that in prison, some of them have a mystique to them that people follow them, and they're like, just like you said, they're attracted to them. Like a bunch of prison
Groupies.
guards and everything will be
like a bunch of groupies.
Yeah, groupies.
But-
like,
but-
let me get your autograph type shit. And you're like,
So why did I even bring that up? I bring that up because I came in with this and I see this and I'm like, first of all, who the fuck is that? And because I didn't know, I heard them talking, but it's like, who the fuck is that? And then it's like you walk in and you feel the history of the place. It's you can feel how old it is. You feel how confined you are. It's like it was like walking in a dusty dungeon, the smell and stuff like that. Did I have a plan? Did I think I was going to fight? No, I walked in actually during count time. And I've said this before. What ended up happening, to kind of get through there real quick, they process me in. They bring me in during count time for whatever reason. They bring me to a cell where my cellie is completely tweaked the fuck out. He is so spun to the hubs. He's making boom boxes out of little radios and cardboard, right? And he's got like paint, and he's got the whole completely tatted, face blasted, head blasted. Looked like some cartoon villain. And it's,
so you walk in and that's your cellie.
yeah.
And are you going into the cell block? Is it the cell blocks or is it galleys?
It's blocked. So imagine a football field and then put like a shoebox in the middle of the football field, a big shoebox. The cells would be in the shoebox there in the middle, and you look out people are. The toilets would be back to back. There's a pipe chase in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cell face that way. Yeah. So it's doors. It was doors. When I walked in, a cop brings me in. The cop's name was Happy, and he was an Arkansas Department of Corrections officer. And this dude made knives. And I didn't know that. I didn't know he was some kind of half-ass whack job. So when we go to a vestibule, first day in, I'm just in now. I'm trying to see get the feel, not paying attention to this guard. He did it for the shock value too. Whipped out a knife and showed me his knife, but the way he did it,
the cop did.
Yeah. His name was Happy. He was notorious. He made knives on the street. That was his thing.
Here's Leavenworth.
Yeah. But imagine now. I'm thinking about everybody inside there. What's going to happen when the doors? Not what's going to happen. Something was going to pop up, but just meeting people and walking in. And it was this cop's do you like that? It was.
You like my knife?
So weird. But anybody who was there that knows that cop, they're probably laughing right now. You know what I mean? Because that's how he was. So I went in there and I was, you know, I do drugs, or especially then, and I asked him, you know, where's it at? You know, I was trying to get high, and ended up getting high that day on heroin, not methamphetamine.
So right the first day you got high when you went in.
15 minutes after the doors open.
Wow.
I had
So
a needle in my arm.
did you have money? Did you have
Yeah.
money to pay for this?
Yes, I came in. I still had some assets, and I was one of these people that were really fortunate to have family and friends that took care of me. And that pretty much, honestly, that lasted the whole time I was in prison. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, there was times when I
here's what the cell block looks like, right?
Okay, so that would be D block. That's how the original cell blocks were. Yes. So they've been changed. They've been totally changed up since then, but they're leaving D block, or they're supposed to, in its original state or close to, you know, for historical purposes.
Yeah, I have a picture of what the cells look like right here. It looked pretty.
Let me tell you something. I was on the 5th floor one day. I was getting high all summer. I was strung out, and they brought me in there in the middle of this. Well, it was like September, but it was 100 degrees. No air. They had those big fans that blow. Oh, so that's
sweat. The walls sweat, right?
And there's roaches and there's mice, and the walls are just completely wet all the time. You're right. It was miserable.
That reminds me of summers in Connecticut. It's
does it?
It's like a fortress. It's got galleys, you know, with the long galleys. It's terrible, man. In the summertime, it's so hot in there. It's just hot air. And then in the wintertime, it's freezing.
Yeah.
It's one extreme to the other. So when you're in Leavenworth, what is the gang activity for like for you? Like,
okay,
what
so,
do people approach you to be down with them?
No,
do you have to show? Do you have to prove yourself?
It wasn't like that. So, so I ended up, as far as the gang. So there was one guy there whose name was Red, who I believe he was Dirty White Boy, and there's a friend of mine who's going to correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe he was patched up DWB at one point, and then he was like, the brand made him when he was an ADX to kind of try to look out for things in the yard at Leavenworth. But the gang that was there, was the Dirty White Boys, and then there was a couple arms. Now, I didn't hang out with all the Dirty White Boys for the first year. I hung out with one named Dusty. Dusty was from Orange County. We have a lot of the same family background. Listen, we're a couple years apart. We were both into the punk scene, both surfed, all that stuff. So we got along. He did California time. I did time in California. He was an NLR, actually. He was patched up NLR from the state. But he was running Dirty White Boy in the feds because there was no NLRs back then. So we got along. We just clicked up, and through Dusty, I ended up running with the Dirty White Boys more, and eventually got patched up Dirty White Boy. But the gang activity at the time, white gang, there was Red, who was brand, but I'm trying to put the guy down. So you really didn't know it. And there was an issue with the Dirty White Boys and him over some poker tables. Before I got patched up, the Dirty White Boys succeeded. They end up getting the poker tables in certain units. So there was no other then the arms. There was a couple arms who got really big in 2002. Actually, they formed another gang called the 88s, and they grew and became like massive in numbers in 2002. They really, as far as
sometimes when the newer gangs start, a lot of people are attracted to that.
Sure.
And they blow up. Like,
sure,
they're so powerful.
Sure.
And it varies too from cell block to cell block. You'll have like this gang is like real big in that one, and then you go to the next gang cell block, and there's like one gang member from that one in there. It's crazy. I know the whole politics of prison is insane.
So, to that point, to be honest, at Leavenworth, so the Dirty White Boys, we had numbers. So I came in 2001, really, but I was around in 2000. So that we had quite a bit of numbers, and the arm only had a few, and that like A2 was their block for sure. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have no card table over there, nothing. And they were a lot smaller. But so what, going to your point, as far as the different blocks have different politics. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it just depends on the prison.
So what did you have to do to get your patch for the
So yeah, how'd I get patched up? So there was the shot caller at that time, whose name was I'll just say Gator, from Florida, was a fisherman who kind of got suckered into going to pick up some weed one night, to run in the boat and going out there, and was set up. He was a guy who was like read a lot, really well read. Crossword puzzle, Wall Street Journal. Like he was really into learning and stuff like that.
Information.
Yeah. Shot caller. We got along because I had a paper and I was in the hole with him, and we started talking. And he knew I was around Dusty a lot, so he started pulling me. Hey, Rob, come on. This is what we need some leaders too. I think one day you can have that. You have a head on your shoulders. Blah blah. That's what happened. I said no. I said no. When I finally agreed was, I got denied for my 2255. For anybody that doesn't know, let's for all sake of argument, there's 2 appeals in the feds. Really, there's your direct appeal, and then you get a second shot at it, which is a 2255. Now, there's more, and it's way more complex than that. But for all intents and purposes, let's just say it was a second appeal, and I lost, and that's when I felt like I had a life sentence. Prior to that, I thought I was going to get out. In my head, I was going to get out. But when I got hit, I knew I was all in. That night, when I got that information, I was in the hole with all the dirty white boys. And we were.
Why were you in the hole at the time?
That was, I think, a fight. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm trying to think. I think it was a fight. Was a fight I got into. I stayed in the hole at Leavenworth. So so that was the summer of 2000. So I can kind of try to remember back. I think that might have actually been a dirty urine, because I think the next time I went to the hole was when I got in a fight with a dude named Big Jerry. But
but were you trying to walk a straight line?
Me?
Until you get your until you go to the board,
No.
Trying to avoid the bullshit.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. So what I thought was going to happen, what I pictured my life looking like in prison when I was in county jail, because I was in a county jail, not a federal holding center. Okay, this is in Arkansas, Sebastian County Detention Center. What I pictured was me being in the library, constantly writing briefs, battling the courts like this jailhouse lawyer guy. And that almost happened. The day after I got high, I literally was going to meet a guy that was a really good jailhouse lawyer that was going to teach me the ropes, wanted to. And there was the fork in the road where if I went to the right, I can get high. And if I went to the left, I can go to the library. And I went right. That really happened.
Bro, that's a crazy analogy, bro. Yeah. I never heard no one break it down like that.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And it took me a long time to
fork in the road. Yeah, I just took the shortcut.
Yeah, man. So I didn't look back. I started doing my own stuff. Learning. I taught myself. At some point, I started really getting down with the law. So
I want to, before we keep moving on, I want to tell people something real quick. If you get caught mailing packages, you can get 23 years in prison, just like he did. So I'm just trying to warn people, man, that it's not a game, right?
No. So if you're talking about the mail for the feds, so the state can actually pick it up on different things, but if you have one prior drug offense, your mandatory minimum is 15 years. One prior drug offense, one prior serious drug offense. They changed the definition recently, but 15-year mandatory minimum unless you're going to cooperate. If you have 2, it's now a 25-year mandatory minimum. There is no more mandatory life without the parole. The sentence that I had, there is no more, but you can still get life based on the weight.
Your previous convictions, right?
Yeah, criminal history. Yeah.
Because I know that the court got tired of dealing with me, man. They said, we see you in here one more time and you're getting habitual offender and you're not gonna be going home. And I'm like, yeah, no, sir, you won't see me up in no more. And I have not been back, man. So after when you're going to get your patch, is there like a certain thing that they want you to do to get it?
So in my case, because I was in the hole, so what happened the night that I was talking about, everybody was drunk, and Kenny's like, Rob, what are you trying to do with your time? So it sounds corny, it sounds goofy, it sounds like bitches or whatever you want to say. I fucking agreed to get tipped up when I was shit-faced drunk on a dude that was saying, what are you trying to do with your time, cracker? And the tier was full of dirty white boys and affiliates and bloods from California. So I knew all these bloods from California, Zulu, Monster, they were all here and they were cracking up. You know, they were cracking up at us, you know. We were fucked up drunk. We'd been drinking all day. So yes, I agreed. And the next day, I'm going to tell you something. I looked at my cellie, Dusty, because I looked at Dusty when Kenny was like, tell us now, Rob, what are you trying to do? You with us or you against us? Pulling all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I looked at Dusty. He's like, Rob, you got to do what you got to do. You know, he was like kind of laughing. Next day I woke up and I looked at him and I said, really? Did I just really say that? So anyway, went to the rec cage. A couple of them fucking slapped me around. Not slap, but, you know, play, fight, whatever. But I knew I was next up. I was next up for something that was supposed to, you know, the big thing that was going to happen or whatever. That's what it was. And that really, it didn't even really come up that way until Lewisburg, like a year later, year and a half later or whatever. I did other stuff, but it wasn't related just to you have to do this because this is what you're supposed to do. That wasn't. When an issue came up, I said I'll do it and I'll do it by myself. You know, that's what happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've done some pretty grimy shit in prison to, you know, the dumping water in people's TVs and shit.
Oh yeah, all that.
You mix salt water and you mix salt in the water and then you pour it in any electronics. It'll fry the electronics right when they turn it on. And there was a bunch of things like that we used to do to people. Some people used to get their heads smashed with the TV.
Oh, for sure.
It all depended on what you
TV, man. That's like if you're trying to stay out of trouble in prison. Hear me, people. If you're trying to stay out of trouble in prison, stay away from TVs. Just stay out of the TV room. Really, I mean that's because I mean so much shit goes on, and then you're just watching something. Maybe you're by yourself, and then someone
even the chairs, man. The chairs. You get in a fight over the chair, man. Yo, you got my chair. That's the state's chair. Blah blah blah, and then the fight starts. You know.
Yeah. Yes.